Hi guys, so back again in the bathroom. Today what I'm going to teach you to do in this video is how to set your bath nice and level, but also at the right height for your side panel, which is very important. If you get your bath so it's too high, there's going to be a gap. If you get it too low, the panel's not going to fit in. It needs to be exactly right. So let's get on with this video. Please hit the subscribe button, the like, and the comment as well. And if this video helps you out, perhaps consider clicking the thanks. Let's get on with the video, guys. Hold tight. So hopefully the first thing you're going to notice is that the floor has been incredibly well protected. We've got very, very thick cardboard on here. That's all good, you know, we're not going to damage the floor here by dropping anything today. However, I would recommend that if you're going to be doing this work quite a lot, that you should buy 3 or 4 like yoga mats. Are really good for rolling out on your tiled floor because they're spongy, they're really cheap. Then if you drop an adjustable spanner or something like that, it's just going to land on there. A lot of people will go into a bathroom that they've just done the floor on and put a dust sheet down. Now, while that may stop like blobs of paint or something like that going on there, if you drop a heavy tool on a dust sheet, it's not going to absorb any of the shock and you could end up cracking the tiles. So think about that. So for a lot of people who are out in the trade, this is not going to be this is not going to be kind of the way round they do it. And in a way, I don't know why. I think the method that I'm going to show you is the best way of doing this, because what we're going to do is we're going to bring our panel in, we're going to mark the top of the panel, and we're going to bring our bath in, then we're going to batten the 2 corners so they're in line with those marks but also level. Then we're going to lay the bath nice and easily on those battens, mark the top edge of the bath, take the bath out, and then later on when we come to tile, we're actually going to tile all of this wall without the bath in here. The reason I'm doing that is because I think when you've got the bath in and you start doing all that tiling, you drop a tile or something goes wrong, and you're also leaning over to get to the work area while you're doing the tiling, I think it's a lot easier to not have that in there. So the first thing we're going to do is just get out some of the fixing system for this, and we're going to mark exactly where the top of our side panel comes to. So we've got this in here just like so. These flex a little bit. We don't want that flex to be present in this, okay, when this happens. So to help, if you want, get yourself a spirit level at the back. Just press it against it. Then you know you get that nice height. Also, just have a little look at this and go, right, how is this going to work? How is this system going to work on here? And we're going to be putting that around there like that. And that's how this is going to hold at the bottom. We'll also have the same at the top underneath the bath. I'll do the same at the other side. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a piece of wood, just going to make sure it's a nice flat bit of wood as well. And we're just going to screw that in here and see if we can get one in here as well. And look, suddenly it's now very handy that that whole wall is plywooded, isn't it? I remember all the comments a few weeks ago about, oh, I don't see why you're bothering plywooding it, what's the point in doing that? This is why. For belt and braces, I'm going to glue on my bits of wood as well and screw them into the wall. Then my phone rang.
Where are you now?
I'm at home in the bathroom doing the clucking bath.
Oh, nice, not you.
I know, mate. I don't think I'm going to come out. I've got to say,
I've clucking got to do this.
Jimmy, you're such a pansy.
I know, but hold on. Hear that? That's the sound of pansiness. So we do the same thing along the long edge as well, and I think you're getting an idea now as to what we're getting at here. If you've got a corner piece like this that's exactly level and your bath is well formed, and you lay your bath on this corner piece, guess what? Your bath will be level. No getting underneath and faffing about with the legs just yet. You're already over halfway there to getting this bath level. Right, so now I can get this side panel out of here, and we're just going to pop the bath in. The feet will not even need to be on the floor or anything like that, because the bath is naturally, very hopefully, going to be almost close to level both ways already. And then all we'll need to do when we eventually install the bath is just whip the feet down, make sure they're taking up the strain, the weight, the pressure. It's almost a self-leveling bath. You can get that level, and the bath bottom lip is level. When the bath was cast and made, we should be able to drop the bath in here and find, guess what, that the whole bath is level as well. Fingers crossed, that's what happens this time. But if it doesn't happen, if it is out slightly, we've got it in there already. We can just adjust the feet a little bit, and we'll be able to make up those differences when we actually glue all the bath down onto this and adhesive it all in.
It's always important to keep a nice clean work area, so get all the tools out before we pop the bath in.
Right, lift it up, pop in those bits of wood. No. So I'm just going to cover up our laser level for a minute so you can get a nice little surprise. We've got our 2 levels on here. The long level is level. The little 600mm level is completely level as well. The bath's not actually moving anywhere. It's laid in. The feet aren't even touching the floor. None of them are. Let's see if our laser goes on the bottom edge of this. Let's have a look. And look, our laser goes across the bottom edge like that. Now, the creme de menthe moment. I think the floor's a tiny little bit out of level. It runs slowly downhill. But that is mainly due to the fact that the joists underneath are a tiny little bit out of level. We'll be able to lose that later on when we come to actually do our silicone and everything around on this. But let me just pop in our side panel in a sec.
Before we do that though, we're just going to tweak the feet so they just take the weight of the bath.
So yeah, we're just going to get under here and do a little bit of tweaking. That is the secret. This is the secret to a nice level bath. So sorry this shot's a little bit wobbly, guys, but you're on a bit of cardboard that's protecting the foot.
So on each foot we've kind of got like 2 locking points, and the bit I'm working on here is the plastic foot and the locking nut for that. The plastic foot also has a thread in it, so we can thread it up and down the threaded screw that we've got there. So once I've slackened off that nut, I can move the actual black foot up and down. If it's really out, we can slacken off the top nut and the one that's hidden, that little bit of U-gauge metal there, to adjust the height of the foot up and down. Every time we do an adjustment, we'll refer back to our laser level and also to our spirit levels on top of the bath.
Absolutely spot on now. Bublé's great there. Bublé is great over there. And then we should have a closer look at this one here. A locking nut there, locking nut underneath, a locking nut here, then the foot's got a thread on it as well. So there's loads of ways to get that right. Now, you see this one over here, that's not quite touching the floor yet, so we're going to pop a little beam of wood under there to take that when we finish off this job.
So yeah, just work my way around each one of the feet, just making sure there's a nice little bit of weight on there. At the moment, I'm not going to screw them down because I'm actually going to be taking the bath out in a minute, ready for the next stage. But before we do that, let's have a little bit of the creme de menthe moment, as Del Boy would say. Oh yeah.
There you go, just right. That is bang on there. That is exactly the right height. The side panels do need cutting down at the edges, which is a bit weird, but that should be okay. They're just a little bit out, so they're going to need... It's almost like they want you to cut a little bit off and bring it back to where you want it later on. So what I'm going to do now that's slightly different from how we'd normally do this job. Normally what we'd do now is we'd actually fix the bath in, we'd get these feet down and level, but we've got our levels around there. I know where the bath is going to come up to. I want to be able to stand in this space, safely tiling it without dropping stuff on the bath, without sitting in the bath and potentially damaging it. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to run a line around where the bath is, and we're going to tile to that line with the bath not in the room. Now I know exactly where this is going, height-wise. I'm going to score, draw a line all the way around here. I'm going to make sure that our line is just a tiny bit above the bath. And then we can take the bath out of the way. We can re-batten around here, and they're going to be the battens that we remove when we finish doing our tiling. So the next thing I want to do is lift this bath and take it out of the room, and then I can get to all of this nice and easily to do the tiling. I'm also going to mark the bath's edge. So, fortunately, these bits of wood are exactly the right height and they can just lift out. So I've got something to tile to here. What I've got down here is a little bit of like acrylic primer. This is BAL ABD, I think, I can't remember. What it does, it's really important to use on this stuff, I think, because not only does it secure down any like random bits of dust and stuff like that, but also it will give you the the time you need, because if this is really dry, your adhesive is going to suck in real quick pretty much, and you know, you won't have much time to work on it. Also, when you put it on this stuff, sometimes it tends to curl off a little bit if you haven't primed it, so it's quite a good idea just to give it a good prime up as well. It can't hurt, all right? Just make sure you use the right primer. Don't use a water-based one. So I've just pinged my centre line here. I measured across. We're going to make our centre this, the centre of the actual whole room. We're not going to go centre of the bath. I think it's going to look better if we do centre of the whole room. It's just one of those things. But we are pretty much there now. I've got my few bits of wood in here. People are going to say this is a nutty way of doing it, but I think it's really, really good. The one quick thing I'm going to do is we're just going to seal up all the joints very quickly with a little bit of silicone just on these. Just to make sure they're all nicely sealed up, but then pretty much we're now ready to clear up in here and get tiling.
Personally, I don't really know if people do this a lot or not when it comes to HardieBacker, but I like to seal up all the joints, get all those done, and then, yeah, once that's done, we're all ready to go. Just whacking on the adhesive like a rabid beast, making sure that our tiles are back buttered like we did on the floor, and then using that fantastic ox tiling system yet again to get everything down and make sure everything's nice and level and clicked on and sexy.
Right, so I've got a ping line up on here. We're just getting on now. We're just getting it up, getting these on, getting them levelled out. Job's going really well. Only problem is I'm using like a pretty bad coloured adhesive, because if you get any of this on the sides of your tile, you might be able to see that later on when it comes to grout, but hopefully we'll be okay. Let's keep going.
At this point, one of those beautiful little things happened that sometimes happen when you're doing bathroom tiling jobs.
I run straight through. That is cool. I love shit like that. That is going to run straight through there.
While I'm doing this, I just want to tell you about the AL Army. That's a live stream I do for YouTube members only on a Thursday evening at 6:30. It lasts an hour. We have a beer together. There's a real great community there now. They get to check out the latest video before it's gone live, little edits, behind the scenes, and also ask us any random questions in the chat for that live stream as well. To get involved, click the join button below this video and select AL Army behind the scenes or AL Army. Anyway, back to the video.
Right, so it's another day and everything's dried out now. So what we do, we just bosh off these wedges. Like I said in one of the previous videos that I did when I was doing the tiling on the floor, the best thing to do is just use a bit of wood or something. Don't use a bit of metal or something that's going to damage your tile. And as you can see, they come out really easily. And in a sec, we'll take the bits of wood out below as well. And we'll just slip the bath in so I can show you, yes, the bath fits, and also I can kind of breathe a bit of a sigh of relief. Right, so we should just be able to sort of, yeah, wiggle that out. Right there, and this. Right, let's get that bath in. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That slides under there beautifully. Oh, really, really happy with that. Really, really, really pleased. So, there you go. You've learned hopefully how to level a bath the easy way. Not having two spirit levels on the bath while you're under there, fighting with the feet and the spirit levels are falling off and everything. If you get two straight bits of wood, do your corners out like that with a spirit level and lay the bath on it, making sure that, well, hopefully the bath is cast nice and square. I know you guys are going to be like, well, why don't we see him tile this in this video? I'm going to do that in a separate video because of this. The tiles I'm doing are, they're square 3D tiles, okay? So I've actually just done a test cut on one already to see how they cut, but that is going to be like the effect. I'm not that confident about doing it to the point where I'm just going to start thrashing away, shoving tiles on the wall. What I am going to do is I'm going to make sure that I know how to do them first on just like a test piece. So come back in the next video for that, the next bathroom stuff video. We've still got a few little bits to do down here that I've got to do. Just got to fill in that bit down there with tiles and the bit down there as well behind the bath, that's got to get done. And also then what we're going to do is going to have 18mm ply over the front of this bath here, over the front of the toilet here, and then following this seam round, there's going to be a seam cut here, and this whole panel will be tiled, but it will be removable, so it can come out. Then if there's any leaks, we can service the joints under there, service the joints at the back. Also the top will come off as well, so full access to that even once it's done, because we have got a little bit more gubbins in there than what you'd usually have in a toilet. And if you've hung around to the end, of course, we've got tools of note, which I'm sure you're going to enjoy in this video. Some of you are going to say, oh, that was tools of note last week, but it doesn't matter because, you know, you might be a new Plumber Parts viewer and not seen tools of note last week. If you are new, go back and watch it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Love you all, and remember to hold tight and hit the thanks button as well. See you in the Owl Army too. Bye!
My name's James from Plumber Parts. Which tools of note did you use? Number them. Well, number one, I'd say the SDS drill. Just that smooth, hammery feeling as I chew into my walls. Just, I can feel it, you know, I can feel it even after I've used it. Go on. Number two, I'd say the Bosch laser level. I mean, it really shone a beautiful light into my life. Thank you. I mean, I know it was in the last video, and I don't want the other tools that I have to think that, you know, that I don't love them and that they're being left out or anything like that, you know, but I really do love that Ox sponge roller thing. All I can say is I'm sorry to my Vito Pro Pack because I love that as well. Oh. And where can you get all of these tools? You know where you can get them. Just click on the link below and go to our Amazon store. Simple. Oh, my wife's gonna kill me. See you next week's video, guys.